Hi, my name is Danny, and I am the creator of Skin Harmonics, the very first Medi-Holistic skin resurfacing skincare line, method, and system to holistically resurfacing skin. And today I want to talk about blackheads. So I've gotten several inquiries lately from people that aren't lucky enough to live close to me, and it's a place that's hard for me to get to. But the question is, like, is there a home remedy for blackheads? And the short answer is no. And I'm going to tell you guys why. So first of all, I know a lot about blackheads, and I'm going to categorize them for the sake of simplicity for this video into three different categories. There are superficial blackheads, there are compacted blackheads, and there are number three category is complicated, compounded, or compacted blackheads. So here's the lowdown. We might be able to superficially, remove those shallow blackheads with vacuums, with those packs, the mud that you put on, like it's almost like a wax for the skin where you put it on and then you rip it off and it takes the superficial blackheads. And so that might get superficial blackheads, but the bigger problem is why those blackheads are forming in the first place. So skin that is being treated in those ways, those blackheads might stay away for a day or two, but you will notice, anybody that's ever, dedicated themselves to removing their superficial blackheads that way, is that those blackheads come back worse than they were before. It's like a rebound blackhead situation, because the whole reason that those blackheads formed in the first place was never reconciled, was never fixed. And so you're just, it's a very inefficient way to keep blackheads away from our skin. And I'll go into that at the end of the video. So, and how to address this bigger issue. And number two, you can squeeze blackheads, the compacted blackheads, to a degree, and you might get a partial emptying of the fluid. But compacted blackheads are underneath the surface of our skin, and they're all tangled, and they're kind of packed over with, they're kind of buried in the top layer of our skin. You can't just squeeze them, and you can't, because there's not a big enough area on top, that because they're buried, you can't just suck them out or scrub them out or just get them out in a home remedy product. You can't even use a chemical peel to take compacted blackheads away. You're just then, creating like a skin that's like really raw and irritated, but the compacted blackheads are still in there. So then let's move to the next category of blackheads, which are these complicated, compacted blackheads, where there's no other way to get these out except for by using a lancet, which is something I do in Colorado for my clients. And this takes a true professional to go in and actually remove it with a tiny, tiny sharp point that's barely, hardly, penetrating. Actually, the skin is never penetrated. It's the blackhead that's penetrated when they're removed correctly. And that's the only way to remove these complicated blackheads, which makes them complicated is that they are attached to something called milia, M-I-L-I-A. They're like, sometimes people think that they're made with, like, they're what do you call it, cholesterol pockets or something. But no, a milia is basically a hardened pus pocket. It was a whitehead that had thin pus in it at some point, but because skin was so dehydrated, it couldn't release it. And so this thin pus was just, held by the skin, isolated and stored. And as the months and the years go on, that pus pocket gets really hard. Nobody dies from milia, so it's not like a massive emergency, but there's no way a chemical peel or any type of procedure can just remove them. The only way to get them out, the only procedure that will get them out, is the professional use of a lancet. So all of these products that are superficially like, let's remove blackheads, and home remedies for blackheads are, in the end, very, non-effective. But I will tell you what does work. So what does work to preventing and removing blackheads is keeping our skin very, very hydrated, not over cleansing and not over exfoliating it, using a hydrating serum with topical dermal nutrients, which tells our skin to make new skin cells, which is like this upwards pushing of new skin cells, which is always keeping blackheads at bay. And then the use of a heavy moisturizer, something that has a lot of lipid in it, a lot of densified oils to trap that water in. And I know that this is where it gets counterintuitive because this is where we've been taught, me included, that in order to prevent blackheads, we have to be using all the, ingredients that don't clog our pores, the whole like non-comedogenic thing, which to me is just utter nonsense. Our skin makes its own lipids. We need to harmonize our skin's ability to do that, balance it, and give our skin lipids so that we can mimic our own natural healthy oils and trap the water that's in our skin. That's why our skin makes oil, is because it prevents water from evaporating. And as soon as we're withholding oil from our skin and shutting down our own skin's ability to make oil, we have this chronic state of dehydrated skin. And guess what? That's why we get blackheads. So if you want to really remove and prevent blackheads and get skin that I call self-cleansing skin that doesn't get blackheads in the first place, you have to get an origin set and, of course, re-educate yourself on everything I just said, because I know it's new for a lot of people to think like this. And I also, want to just like, all of these home remedies for removing blackheads are very short-sighted. They're inefficient in the end. And yes, you might have 1 or 2 blackheads removed if they're the superficial kind, but guess what? They're coming back, and they're coming back with a vengeance if you don't learn to, keep your skin hydrated and dermally nourished and the barrier restored, and you've let go of this obsession of over cleansing and over scrubbing your skin, because tragically and ironically, like, that's the thing that's giving you blackheads. But I know that this requires like a shift of beliefs around how to be with our skin. So I hope this video was helpful. And again, just like, thanks for opening my newsletters, and send as many people as you can to my website, because the only way we're going to put in a healthier belief system around our skin is through, education and the integration of new information. So, yeah. And I will talk to you guys next time, and we'll have another fun topic, I'm sure. All right. Bye, everyone.